Good morning. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Good morning. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. This is my Moody Mondays. Good morning. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. This is my extra Moody Monday. And I apologize. I was due live at 7 a.m. and started having problems immediately. So I'm going to be in touch with Spectrum today because at this point, it is not user error. At this point, it's the internet, everybody. I know a lot of people do blame that. Usually with me, it is the internet, but sometimes it's user error. But there's no excuse for consistent outages. I don't know the neighbors that actually, how they work. Some of them work from home. I don't know how they actually do it, unless maybe there's another stream. I'm supposed to have the fastest one, so I shouldn't have to upgrade just to not have an outage while I'm doing something as simply as streaming. So I don't want to start out with apologies, but I do apologize. Good morning, Linda Gamble. Welcome to Sandra P's Gen Extra. Good morning. Thank you so much for dropping in. I was looking for you on the YouTube streets. I was over at Queen Sheba, one of the large platforms that you handle so ably, and I didn't see you, but I was in and out. But I appreciate you and as one of my moderators. Thank you so much. Mama Bees, a lot of the moderators just come in when they can and come out as they can. Good morning, Mama Bees. Good morning, Lady C. Good morning, everyone to the chat joining me. I was scheduled for 7 a.m., started having internet problems immediately. So I like to do a 30-30. If you're in and out as you're on the way to work or something like that, I appreciate it. Or just running errands. I'm off today. I just have a few errands, but I may not get out too much. Everyone's speaking to each other in the chat. I'm just going to go over some of the quick news topics that I had. I tried to put a little syllabus on there just so to keep my mind on what I'm actually supposed to be doing. As you can see, my thumbnail was the beautiful, the lovely former VP Kamala Harris, former Senator Kamala Harris, former Attorney General of California, Kamala Harris. I'm so proud of her. She was at the NAACP Image Awards, receiving the prestigious, their highest award, the Chairmen Award. So I'm proud of Kamala Harris. I am. I love how she's conducted herself. I love how she's keeping it low. You know, she's out the way. She's low, okay? And I appreciate that. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. I know that I've been not warning, but just trying to impress upon the 92%, myself, the other Black women who voted like me, voted for everyone else, trying to keep us out of being baited, and people trying to pull us into, it's everyone's fight, but there's certain people that are going to have to step up now. I see them out there. I see them turning the congressmen every which way but loose at those meetings, so we need to see a lot more of that. One of those, I can't remember the city, but it was a city down in Georgia that district went 80% for the orange clown. And they were screaming their congressman down. They're screaming and they're crying. And that's how they voted. So imagine the people, those of us, the 92% and others that did not vote for that. But I wanted to show this beautiful picture of Kamala Harris. One of them I had on the thumbnail. This is one of the ones, she was giving her speech. She gave a very inspirational speech. And I named it a Profiling Courage. I love the way that she conducts herself. And that's how we love to see her. We love to see her smiling, happy, well moisturized, well rested. Let these other people tear their hair out because the other side, they're not looking good. But the scary thing is, will they be able to take us down with them? Because there are certain people that like to tear things up. We watch this fool over here with a chainsaw. And he's admitted that he takes, everything's allegedly, and in my opinion, and covered under the 1976 Copyright Act, and Section 107 of that act. This is for entertainment purposes. I give my opinion on current day events. I was speaking about the beautiful former Vice President Kamala Harris, who is now a private citizen, being enlisted, trying to be drawn in to a fight that she didn't start. She was fighting up until November 5th. I know she's fighting now, but they said she didn't win the election. And there are people that are still trying to have this lady work. And I'm not here for it. I want her to do what she's doing. I loved her pop out last night with us. People that love her, look like her, just drew her out to kind of talk to us. But there was a funny tweet that a lady had that I wanted to, she might have, oh no, this was on Blue Sky. And I'm going to read it to you because this is kind of what we have been given, the energy that we're getting from certain people. And Lillian Pickney, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for stopping into the live chat. Mama Bees, thank you so much. Grand Rising to Mama Bees. Linda Gamble is speaking to everyone as she does. Mama Bees as well. I appreciate that when you ladies drop into the chat and you greet everyone. This is a person that does not look like Kamala Harris or myself. She's saying, it's true, but with the Black women still resting, we are lost. Do white people even know how to do this stuff? Have you seen our protests so far? Pathetic. And she's got an exclamation point. She's writing this little cutesy thing about such a serious topic, y'all. I know we did you dirty. I know y'all got to recover and heal. I know this, but damn, we need your leadership. And I just miss y'all. You see what Miss Missy wrote to us? Miss Missy says she missed the 92%, y'all. The 47%. I'll give her credit. I'll say she's 47%. She voted for Kamala Harris, but they let her down. And she's looking for y'all. Where you at? I'm here in my house. I'm waiting for my groceries to be delivered. So that's where I'm at. Some of us are on our way to work. That's where they're at. Others are still resting. Okay. I'm going to read one of my sister's comments and then I'll give my thoughts on what Miss Missy is saying. One of the comments, she says, white women are so used to being rescued by white men that now you need to be rescued from white men. You're looking for a new hero. There are about 100 million white women here in the URS, only 22 million Black women. Everyone needs you to grow up and be your own heroes. That sister gave her some real advice. Because why are you calling people out to protest who have always been on the front lines, especially at a time now? Here's my main concern with the protesting. A lot of the things that we have put in place over the years to protect us are no longer there. We don't have some of the freedoms that we thought we had. And the protest, she says, it's pathetic. No, you're out there, you're at the meeting with the congressman. You still need to talk to that 53%. If you can get a good portion, even a half of them, not even that many, but if you can get some of them over on your side, when you talk to them about the things that they're actually losing, and they're going to see some of it this summer. White women, you don't have to go big. You don't even have to start with the men. Start with that 47%, start with the 53%. I'll give you some instructions since you're asking. I want that 47% to get with the 53%, the ones that you are uncomfortable talking with because you don't want to make your home situation uncomfortable if it's your mother or your sister or a coworker or just a friend, somebody in your garden club or book club, and you have the comfort of avoiding the political discussions. The 92% never had that comfort level of avoiding political discussion. When we see the 8%, we let them know what it is. This is crazy. Sis, you get ready to vote against all of us. And we pull their coat and we consistently tell them. And 92% is pretty doggone good. That 8%, they can vote how they want to vote, but we do still talk to them. The 47%, I don't think you have talked to the 53% enough and expressed to them enough how critical things were before they got to this stage. Now that you're getting these letters, your husband's out of work, you're getting out of work, you're crying, your children's IEP plans are at risk, all the things that are at risk. You have a summer vacation plan in a national park, the park rangers have been laid off. Is it going to be safe for you to walk those trails? I live in North Carolina. I'm in a blue city in a red state, but Asheville is a blue city, and look at them. FEMA was trying to bring money to them, and FEMA was getting threatened. People were pulling pow-pows out on FEMA. So 47%, you got a lot of work to do. Don't worry about calling us out. Kamala Harris popped out dressed in all black like the old men. Shout out to Lil' Kim. She looks so beautiful, y'all. I'm so proud of her. And the look on our faces, the ones that were in the audience, I was proud of her, happy to see her. And she reminded us of who we were, which we know, we've always known. But don't get out there. Let them get out there because there's a lot of restraint. She's saying that the protests are pathetic. What is she looking for? She's looking for heads to be cracked and fire hoses and all that kind of stuff. They're showing restraint now because we're not out there on the front line being a bumper car for these people to crash their cars into, because they have a right to do that now in some states. So 92% don't get out there yet. You want to help little kids read at church, or you want to volunteer for an after school program or bring snacks to elementary school or something like that. Start your garden, your herb garden. That's my thing I've been threatening to do. My one little plant I planted dried out. So I'm going to start from scratch again. I'm going to be positive and start from scratch. Cece, welcome in. Raymel, welcome in. Toot Latrice, toot, toot, latoot. I saw you over at Queen Sheba's and spoke to you, but I was in and out. And I appreciate you being over here. Sharon Gobble, thank you for coming back and finding this stream, Sharon Gobble. Sharon Gobble was with me right around 7 something. I started having problems. And I'm just giving my little extra, Sandra P's extra, my Moody Monday comments, because I've watched a lot of news and I'm still talking about the beautiful Kamala Harris speaking to us at the NAACP Awards. I just loved it. I loved it so much. I didn't watch the whole show. I have to go back and watch it. It's on BET, also BET Plus, also YouTube. A lot of people have clipped it and put it out there if you have not seen it. Cricket 22, good morning. Cricket comes in, speak to everybody. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Good morning, and I'm glad everyone is here. Everybody press the like button. And let's see, the other thing that I was speaking about, my next topic, because I'm trying to be more mindful of time. I like to do the 30-30 and then go out to the YouTube streets and go around other chats. But what we have now, I was speaking about what we could have had with Kamala Harris and what we have now, which is a kind of a mess right now. But I'm imploring the 47% to get out there and talk to their sisters and their mother and their cousin and their coworkers. And y'all get out there, you're doing a good job at those meetings. Keep that fire under the Congress people because they work for you, especially the ones that went at the district I was looking at, 80% for the orange clown. They were in there crying. And one man, he stood up, he was letting the people know what he thinks. And the congressmen try to stay on the company line. They're towing, well, it's waste and inefficiency. It's not waste. It's not inefficiency. They hadn't been in there long enough to find waste and inefficiency. The data is wrong. This is supposed to be a tech person, the unelected South African. He's not tech support. He's wearing a t-shirt talking about tech support because we're rightfully questioning how an unelected South African, who some of us believe, and he has said that he regularly takes ketamine. Look that up. He has said that. He says he has some type of depression. He believes it runs in the family. Their family are degenerates, by the way. But he thinks this depression runs in his family, which could be true. And he treats it with ketamine, which is usually administered by a doctor. But he's a billionaire. He's on his way to being a trillionaire. He's not at the halfway mark yet. $500 billion is 500 billion. And he's at something like 400. Yeah, I'm pocket watching because they like to pocket watch us. So I'm pocket watching because he's getting paid by taxpayer money to do what he's doing. He had a chainsaw over there at CPAC. When you want to cut something with precision, do you use a chainsaw? Are you going to get in there with an accountant or scalpel type cuts? So he's taking a chainsaw right in the middle of tax season. They're laying off IRS workers. This summer, if you have a trip planned to a national park, I wouldn't go because they've been laying off park rangers. I mentioned the IEP plans. They're crying, y'all. They're scared because some of these kids, they're not allowed in school all day. It used to be disciplinary. If you have an IEP plan, then they'll work with you a little more. Before they had IEP plans, a lot of these kids, they said, oh, they're just bad. They didn't know that they're dealing with some type issue that they need a little bit more special consideration. Some of them can't sit in a classroom all day for 8 hours. That's the rare child that can do that. More than not, a lot of them can't do it now. And they're talking about, one of my pop culture topics was Tia and Tamera. We used to call them the Maori twins, Tia and Tamera. Sister. We love them. They are distant from each other, y'all. And Tia's husband popped his head out. He's concerned about how people are spending their SNAP benefits. They do these little red earrings to make you look the other way. So now the people that are on SNAP benefits, the majority of them look like the lady that was calling us out asking for where we at. We need your help. Okay. So that 47%, the 53%, they make up the majority of SNAP benefits. Children make up the majority of SNAP benefits. But I'm speaking on that because they always make us the face of that, even though we know that that's not true. But this came up with Tia and Tamera Maori because I found out during Tamara's divorce that she and Tia are not as close as they used to be. And I didn't know why. I found out that her husband he used to be a Fox News host. I knew that. This man is MAGA, y'all. And there's a wedge between the two sisters now because of that. And they're calling the other one, I don't like this. Calling her the white twin. She's not the white twin. They have a black mother. They're not biracials. They don't have a white mother. Mixed children, sometimes when there is a white mother, sometimes you see a little bit of problem with them knowing who they are and being firm in who they are. But Tia and Tamera, to me, have not had that problem. Now we're finding out that Tia, maybe because of her husband, she picked him. They've been married quite some time. But he was going viral for ranting about, he's now in support of people eating healthy. You remember when Michelle Obama was talking about healthy eating and going to the school campuses and doing her little line dances with the kids? How they said, get out of our classroom. You don't tell our children what to eat. And the teabaggers were going crazy at those meetings. Now they are for healthy eating. So RFK, Lord, I wish this were something that were not true. Why is RFK talking about SNAP and this kind of stuff and healthy eating? And have you seen RFK? He is a long time. He said he has a brain worm. He's had, and he's an addict. He was an addict to a lot of different things over the years, a dealer to people in his own family over the years. He's now in the cabinet, y'all. And it's not going well. But I was connecting that to Tia and Tamera because they have let the MAGA husband come between the two sisters. And that's why Tamera wasn't really able to get support from her sister Tia while she was going through her divorce from Corey. I'm not going to put all that on Adam because the sister brought him in. But these maggots are all over the place, y'all. But they are at the meetings screaming and hollering. And they are for healthy eating again, now that it's not Michelle Obama telling them. Okay, I went over the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. That department is not a true name, but that's what they're calling it. It's not a true department, but they're accepting money. They're accepting money. Okay, and so let's see. Oh, I have notes in here about when they lie, when they use terms unnecessary government workers. And the reason why we know they're lying is because they've had to call a lot of people back to work. The people they've called back to work are for critical departments. One of them, I wish this were a joke, one of them were overseeing the nuclear weapons arsenal. They laid these people off, the people left. That's got to be a job that just is on your mind and I would be worried if I had that job. I couldn't sleep at night if I had that job. But some of the scientists, they weren't able to get in touch with these people. Because if you get that letter, I imagine, first thing I would do, I probably would take a vacation just to decompress. But they were claiming they were unable to get in touch with some of them. So if your Congress people, get in touch with them and let them know. See, these cuts made with a chainsaw, they should be made with an accountant and with scalpel precision-like cuts, because this is not the way to do anything. So they had to call back also FDA workers, because now you're seeing, I'll speak locally, and I think it's nationally. Boar's Head used to be one of my favorite meats. One of my stores I love, Harris Teeter, they have the subsection, and you pay an upgrade. When you get a Boar's Head sandwich, you're going to pay an upgrade because they're top of the line. They've had callbacks. They've had people die from listeria. Inspectors have been laid off, y'all. So some of this food the inspections are not there. So these are critical workers. I mentioned if you have a vacation planned, a lot of people like to tour our nation's beautiful national parks. They're trying to turn national parks back over to the states. Some of these states, the red states, are not equipped to keep up a lot of their own assets. And I wouldn't take my family to a red state park because they don't like to spend any money. They've laid off a lot of park rangers. Even here in North Carolina, people go hiking and things like that. Blue Ridge is another area, Blue Ridge Parkway. There's always some type incident there where people are trying to get a picture. One lady trying to get a picture and fell over the edge, and they call. She didn't make it, but she was trying to get a selfie and fell over the edge. There's going to be a lot of tragedies that go on because those of us that kind of see things ahead of time and read into things, and we're readers and thinkers and writers, and things impact us, we understand how serious this is. And these other people that right now they're yelling, their hair's on fire, but I still don't think they see the gravity of it. I'm going to read some comments because I don't want to be a doom doomsday person this morning. Even though it's a moody Monday, I don't want to be doom and gloom. I'm going to bring up some more good stuff. There was a Kiki sighting as well. You all know we love our girl Kiki over there doing her podcast. She's so amazing. She received Entertainer of the Year award last night at the NAACP award. Good morning, One Crafty Sister. Good morning. One Crafty Sister is one of the ladies that I have been fortunate enough to meet. Lady C also, she was in here earlier. We went to the winery together. Cece says Tamera is the one with the clear husband. Yes, Cece. And he gives a lot of MAGA talking points, and now he's out and out with it, I guess. But I just hate that the sisters are kind of distant from each other because I feel like him and a lot of his views. Sharon Garbo says RFK is a disaster. If this wasn't real, it would be funny. Sharon Garbo, it would. If it weren't real, it would be funny. He's going to kill so many people. Oh, God, please. He's against vaccines. He said, black people, we're so strong. We're super Negroes, right? We don't need the same vaccines that other people get and all this kind of stuff. This is why it's so important for people. When there are the healthcare differences, I let people know that it's because of medical, excuse me for shaking the table. It's because of medical discrimination from years past. And we're just now getting to a time where they're trying to improve outcomes for Black people, but because medicine is racist inherently anyway, with the experiments they used to do on Black people, the whole OBGYN career track, the history of that is they would operate and do experiments on enslaved women who had no choice in the matter. So the reason we're able to have an OBGYN is because ancestors actually lay on that table with no anesthesia, no anything. And that's another reason why they think we don't have pain. We don't feel, yeah, we do feel pain, but there's certain people that don't hear, don't see, pretend they don't know about that pain, but it's there. It's there. You stub your toe, you hurt just like a clear woman. Mama B says off topic, my sister works for the FDIC. She said we may be in for a collapse of the banking system. Mama B's. That's not off topic. That's exactly on topic. FDIC insures our banks. People are starting to take their money out of banks. This is what I was trying to express to people when this fool went up there and he wanted access to a lot of these systems. He was trying to get access to the U.S. Treasury. I'm 54. I've been working since I was 14 years old. My first job, I put money into what's the first thing come out of your check? We were making $335. I calculated that by 40 hours. I just knew I had $120. No. Social Security comes out. So I've been putting that in for 30 years. My mom, rest in peace, she had her first job at 14 or so. This program was created in 1935. She was born in 1930. She put in from 14. She drew out until she was 93 years old, y'all. She got a check up until that last month. Now they pull it back. If you live any days out of those months, you keep that one. They pulled one back. They pulled the last one. They pulled her December check back. She checked out in December. They pulled her December check back. But they start calling things entitlements and things like that. And he's cutting waste. He lied and claimed he found 150-year-old people in the system still taking money. No. Some of these government computers, the systems are so old. And those of us, Gen X, we remember year 2K, we thought the systems were going to crash. They didn't. But it was because of how a lot of the code is written to go out after certain years, 99 years. There's no 150-year-old people alive. And if they're certainly not taking Social Security. But the FDIC, they want to remove that from the banks. And if they do that, people that have the ability to are going to take their money out of banks. That could cause a run on the banks. And I think they're trying to force this economy into a depression. And we've already had the lowest stock market of the year later last week, because I mentioned my 401k. I haven't protected it the way that I should have yet. And now that things are down, I'm not. The worst thing to do is to start selling things off when things are down. You don't want to buy high and sell low. You want to be able to buy and hold. But in this economy, and I'm not giving any advice, I'm just speaking about for myself. These two men are causing an extreme disaster. So if they remove FDIC protection from banks, what is the benefit of someone having a large sum of money in the bank? Okay, Mama, I read that comment. Sharon Garbo says RFK is a disaster. Yeah, CC confirms she saw the FDIC stories. Thank you guys for liking. I appreciate that so much. We have 14 likes and there are 13 in the chat. So thank you. Cece says laying off inspectors and deregulation is going to put our food safety back to the 1800s, early 1900s. Cece, it is. That's scary. So will I buy a wedge now from a certain store? And certainly not upgrade to the boar's head. All of this stuff and the things we didn't think, like when I mentioned RFK and the vaccines, he doesn't think certain people need them. You got this other whole crew that have told themselves they're Christians, God protecting them. And then they try to send their little kids to school because the government can't tell them what to do. Sneak their little kids in school without the proper vaccinations. Measles are back. Measles used to kill people and we had eradicated measles. We should be worried about measles. And now with food, there are areas, food deserts. Michelle Obama used to talk about that. They were mad when she would talk about that. There are places that don't have fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. And now you got people counting SNAP benefits and how much money, and don't buy chips with the SNAP. If somebody buys a box of snacks and chips for their child with their food stamp, what business is that of yours? You know where I don't like my tax dollars going? People with 13 kids and 4 baby mothers, the unelected South African, the billionaire. Yeah, the Christians are behind this person. And this is the kind of life he's living, a complete degenerate. And he's been put there by another degenerate, 5 children by 3 women, and cheated on each wife with the next one. This is the orange clown I'm talking about now. Just flip it. If this had been Barack Obama and an unelected person from any place of any ethnicity, they would have had him standing in the well of the Senate, and they would have actually impeached him right then. The other people would have confirmed it, and they would have probably walked him out of there in cuffs. But let me calm down a little bit. CC is giving me another fact. Hello, welcome to the chat. Too blessed for you. Thank you so much for stopping in. I love your channel. When I miss Melody and she goes live, too blessed for you. If y'all get over there, she is going to have Melody Rogers on there and we can catch up with her. And congratulations to her record-setting TikTok live. That's good news. CC said the pill was tested on Puerto Rican women. You see, CC? Another group that now they're stepping on, and then some of their own demographic trying to hurt them. And Puerto Rico it's not the 51st state because they don't want them to have the power to actually vote for president, but they're a territory. They're citizens. Linda Gamble was welcome to Bless for You as her sis. She is our sis. Drop the T. Good morning. Drop the T keeps late nights, so we don't usually run across each other. I'm going to stay up one night so I can go in that chat and speak to the crew. Tara, good morning. Welcome, everyone. I was in here with my little bit of hair on fire. I started out good. I started out positive. I showed Kamala Harris at the NAACP Awards. We talked about Tia and Tamera married and how they're a little distant from each other now, even though they're twins because of the husband, Tia's husband. And then we talked about Doge, the bootleg department that has taken a chainsaw to a lot of our federal workers who are hard workers. This do nothing federal worker thing. I don't let anybody say that in front of me. It is not true. If you walk into the DMV or Social Security office or somewhere, if you get somebody with an attitude, that doesn't mean that that's the whole of the government workers. That is not true. There's so many people that are doing amazing work, and I hope they're able to keep their job. There's a lot of lawsuits that have started too. Raymel, welcome to the chat, Raymel. 2023, we went to Puerto Rico because we were on the Soul Train cruise. Ooh, I love it. We ran into that. We were on another cruise. I'll do a story time about that one. We seen the statues of the president, but they didn't have Trump on there. They said they didn't want his face on there. I love that, Raymel. They took some autonomy. I don't blame them for that. They don't get to vote for president anyway. That's true. But yeah, since that is a territory, they do have the president's picture there, like St. Thomas. Now, when we went, my brother, sister, and myself, April of 2023, we left from La Romana, Dominican Republic. We were on a Norwegian cruise. And when we stopped on one of our stops, I can't remember the stop, there were a lot of fly black people around. We ran into Tank. I took a picture. My sister and I took a picture. Let me pull that up with the singer Tank. And I was like, it was just a different feel. And it turned out, y'all, we were parked next to the Ricky Smiley cruise, which is the Tom Joyner cruise. So that was a short story. We didn't know about it, but we probably wouldn't have taken that one anyway. We were on ours, which was a 1 day. We flew into Punta Cana and then took a car over to La Romana and just had a short little 3-day cruise back to Miami. because that was a few months after my mother passed away, and a few of the siblings got together and did that. My brother, my oldest brother, Ricky, was the one in the home and doing a lot of taking care of my mom toward the end. And then there are those of us, of course, who lived close to her and were able to do a lot as well. So that's a story about my encounter with a Tom Joyner cruise. And I also met Tom Joyner down in Aruba when we went because it was Soul Beach, because we love Soul Beach, but they also had New Edition as the headliners. Everyone knows I love New Edition, the Generation X Jackson 5, or the Baby Temps, as we like to call them. And I ran into Tom Joyner in the airport. I sat down. The person was masked. He was in a wheelchair. I put my mask on and I was waiting. And I looked at him and he said, hi. And I recognized it was Tom Joyner. I said, oh, Tom Joyner, so nice to meet you. And he was nice. He was sweet, y'all. And this lady came over. She was built like a brick house. And she started looking at me. And I moved. And it was, I think her name is Donna. His wife is like she's some kind of athletic, I don't know what she does. I think she does. I don't want to mislabel what the person does, but I wasn't trying to talk to Tom Joyner. I was just speaking to him because he's a legend. Okay, I'm sorry for going off topic. Y'all know I'll do that. One crafty sister, spring is coming. If you can't do a large garden, you can do a container garden, safe fruits and veggies. Thank you. Yes, and that is our way of being able to give back to ourselves, to our family, to our community. Start a garden. So a container garden, that is an idea that One Crafty Sister put out there, and it's a good idea. I was trying to start smart with the herbs. I had thyme, something up, mint. Mint is easy, y'all. Mint just grows. I think I made a mistake. I think I got some out here in my grass, and it overruns everything if that's what it is. But that's okay, because I heard insects don't really like it. Linda Gamble spoke to Ray Mel. See, I missed the Tom Joyner morning show too. It's not the same with Ricky Smiley. And I can't listen to him the same, looking at him when he had that mess with the twins, act like he just met those little girl twins, and the woman he'd been messing with since she was a teenager, allegedly, and in my opinion, got a look-alike that they had tagged as the baby daddy. And it wasn't his, it was Ricky's. And Ricky, he started out as a comedian in the churches because he doesn't cuss. So they using whether you cuss or not as the arbiter of whether or not you're a good Christian. Ricky over there laying down with everything that moves, allegedly, and in my opinion, but he's safe for churches because he doesn't cuss. I set this man up to be the children's father, and these are Ricky Smiley's twins. But shout out to Ricky Smiley. He is funny. I do like listening to him, but I do miss Tom Joyner. Ray Mel, I also did the Tom Joyner cruise. Both cruises were fun. Ray Mel, yeah, those cruises are amazing. My sister and I, every year we say, oh, we're gonna go on one of those cruises. But they're always, of course, since you're getting on the ship, as any ship you'll get, all your food, all your entertainment. But look at the entertainment. Like I said, we ran into Tank. Okay, so Ralph Tresvant is always on that cruise. Bobby Brown was on one of those too. So we were looking for them actually. And my brother was like, I saw a guy out here dancing. He was surrounded by women. He thought it was Andre 3000. I think it was Ralph. I don't think Andre 3000 was on that cruise. I'm going to put the picture of Tank up on my community wall. Y'all come back later to look for it. But I was saying I want to put a few more good news stories out there because I'm actually over my 30-minute mark. Linda Gamble's giving me New Edition news and an update. I'm going to read this like the special news story it is. New Edition will be performing for the Juneteenth celebration here in Texas. That state created Juneteenth. That is what the whole story is about. That's when Texas found out about it. That's when it was a real deal. Juneteenth. And can't nobody tell us we can't celebrate that because that was always ours before anybody told us about it. So Juneteenth, they're going to have New Edition. I love to hear that. I might try to make it out there for that, Linda Gamble. CC, I saw politics. I follow, set up an in-house hydroponic garden. It was vertical. A vertical in-house hydroponic garden. That's interesting. I'm gonna look into that. Purple Unicorn, thank you for catching a live. Thank you for stopping down into the chat. Purple heart to you. I love Purple Unicorn. And she does love purple. Thank you so much for dropping down. Linda Gamble greeted her. Let me find one of my saved stories. I mentioned Kiki. Our girl Kiki won Entertainer of the Year. And she beat Cynthia Erivo. I haven't seen Wicked yet. I want to see it. She's an amazing singer. Oh, I didn't know she was going to do that. Kiki sings too. She's doing that to Cynthia. You kill every role you do. But I'm glad Cynthia didn't win.
You killed that role. You killed every role you do.
I'm not a huge Cynthia Erivo fan because somehow I ended up running across her trying to do this black scent. And it wasn't for a role, y'all, like, because I love Idris Elba and he's black. He does black British type thing. I love him. But there's something about Cynthia Erivo. She says little things about Black Americans that I don't really like. I'm a person, I'm into the diaspora. If you look like me and you're from anywhere, you could walk up to me and be speaking Spanish. We're good. I'm not one of those people that try to put people in these categories. But Cynthia Erivo, sometimes the way she is when she speaks about Black Americans, I don't like it. Okay, Cynthia Erivo, that's the only thing. I'm going to see Wicked. It's been out for months. I'm going to see it. But that is why I don't really care for Cynthia Erivo. And I love NAACP honored Kiki, who is Entertainer of the Year. Kiki sings, dances, acts. She has a movie out with SZA. I need to see that. So I love that for her. Come back for Married to Medicine at 7 p.m. I got to put my thumbnail back up because I was under the wrong stream. But I'm going to give my actual thoughts on the aftermath of what happened down there in Key West with 8 doctors on a standby, as Dr. Simone said. They got left down there. We know who this is. I was on this Win with Black Women call. If you follow a Win with Black Women, they started out during the election when Kamala was tagged in. And we forget that. This lady was tagged in. We had Joe Biden. He had one bad debate performance. They said, he too old. Get him out of here. Look who's over there now. Trump is the same age as Joe Biden. He looks older than him. And I know body-wise he is. I saw a picture of Joe Biden. He's living his best life, y'all. He is so happy. He's smiling from ear to ear. That thing they put in there is the same age or older than the person they kicked out. But Win with Black Women, follow them on YouTube. They have a call a week. I can't dial into the calls anymore, y'all. But I listened last night because Joy called in. MSNBC has gotten rid of Joy, y'all. They got rid of Joy Reid, one of the truth tellers on that channel. I haven't watched it for years, honestly. I watch Joy and I watch her clips, but Morning Joe and Mika, I used to watch them years ago and I used to really like them. And then Joe, the way he talks over Mika, first of all, I was watching them before they were married and I could tell they were, I said, them two act like they're going together. And they were married to other people. And then they ended up, it wasn't even a scandal because they were so quiet about it. Mika's daddy came on there. Mika's daddy couldn't stand Joe. Rest in peace to him. Or, if you not political, rest in peace to him as her father, not who he was in politics. But he was getting into it with Joe because Joe is a staunch Republican. Even though he tries to claim he's independent, he's not. Joe, we know what Joe is. Michael still got in the other week. But I saw a clip of that. Anyway, they've replaced Joy with some kind of panel show, and they pulled in Simone Sanders. I love Simone Sanders. Simone Sanders is a sister that really keeps an extremely short haircut. Her face is always so beat. She got a face she uses her face like a canvas. It's like artwork. Glam Rocks is another person, y'all. She got a cute 3-minute video where she shows you how to do she called it a quick beat. But for me, it'd have to be Christmas or something because I have makeup. I buy makeup because I love it, but I don't wear it. I have sensitive skin and dry skin. And I don't take the time. I'm not going to take the time to do that in the morning, but I have saved Glam Rock's tutorial. So if I ever get ready to do it, I can do it. Okay. But Simone Sanders is on that panel. Michael Steele, 2 other people. But MSNBC is good for that, y'all, because the last time the Orange Clown got in office, Melissa Harris Perry, our sister from New Orleans, she's teaching. She's a professor, actually. She's back down there teaching. She's a truth teller. She was like Joy, and she knew so much about politics. She was actually a strategist. She's a professor. They got rid of her. They snatched her show from under her. So, and Tamera, they did the same thing to Tamera Hall. So MSNBC does that. They got a new lady, one of the probably 47 or 53%. She's over there wreaking havoc. But Joy, come over to YouTube, Joy. Don Lemon, when CNN fired him, Don Lemon's over here. He goes live and he has, I know 7,000 people over there. I follow him. He's one of the few people that I follow. Cece said, my daughter made me watch Wicked. We've seen the play years ago. Okay, I'm going to watch it as well, Cece. Cece said, I'm glad Kiki won over Cynthia. She said not nice things about us. Cece, and I heard that too. I knew that Cynthia was like that. I hate to say it. Some of the Black people, when they come here and they hear other people talking about us, they get into that whole white supremacy thing too. And they pretend that's not what it is, but that's what it is. That is what it is, Cynthia. And guess what, Cynthia? When you try to play a head love interest or something, see if they'll cast you next to who's one of the ones that they have out now that they think is so fine. One of them. I don't follow them like that. I don't know. I can't even name one, y'all. I don't know. They're not going to cast you with one of them, I'll tell you that. Unless they do a throwback enslaved movie or something and have you as a mistress. Sharon Gobble, I knew that was coming as soon as the Orange Man took office. Joy Reid was a gem for our people. Yes, Sharon Gobble, she is. On that call, it's a long call. Y'all, they long-winded. And it was only an hour. I've seen them go for 3 hours. So the Zoom filled up because you know how we do. We still working and communicating with each other. So they filled up 10,000 on the Zoom. They came over to YouTube. They had so many more people over there. But Joy called in. It's about the 15-minute mark. And she said Angela Rye has held her down. Tiffany Cross, they did the same thing to Tiffany Cross. Tiffany Cross came on, and then Angela Rye asked Joy, okay, Joy. Joy gave her speech, and she cried a little bit. And everybody comforted Joy. Joy dropped off the camera because Angela Rye asked her to. And you know her and Tiffany, they were cussing. They were giving their point of view. They were saying what it was because Tiffany's been treated the same way. Angela Rye has a podcast, Native Land podcast with herself, Tiffany Cross, and the brother that they stole the election from down in Florida. Put the little lightweight in there, Florida governor, Andrew Gillum. And they brutalized Andrew Gillum, y'all. That what they did with him down there, had that been a woman with the pictures they leaked to him, and then there were DRU GSs involved, allegedly. And Candace Owen, they used her to float it. But he was a couple 100,000 votes away down there in Florida. And I thought he was going to win that election. I'm not sure he didn't, but anyway, he didn't take the role of governor. But he's the other one on that Native Land podcast. And they know Joy. So I know Joy's going to be able to do and get the information out. And sometimes when you're on those people platform, you are really a lot. She gets a lot out, but she couldn't get it out like she wanted to. Now I want her to rest, take a slight vacation, and then she's going to be able to come back and get it out like she wants to. So I'm proud of Joy. I'm happy her tenure has ended. She just graduated from them. MSNBC, what they have said. This is what Angela Rye said on the call. She said, my sister Joy's last show is tonight at 7 p.m. Now, Angela, I don't know. Are they going to broadcast this now? So tonight's supposed to be Joy's final show. She said, we're going to watch that, have record ratings. And then she said, we're going to do a Kendrick Lamar, turn the TV off. So I'm going to do that. And I hope they broadcast it. Because when she put that out there, because you know how we do, we're going to be in there record-setting numbers. And then we're not watching MSNBC anymore. That's it. I'm done with her. I'm done. Too blessed for you. I love Don. I used to watch him on CNN. Yeah, he's over here on YouTube. He's funny now. Because he's got a good sense of humor. And Don can read. Don be talking crazy about people. I love him. Okay, I think I got through all of my political topics. But tonight when we come back, I'll be talking about this one. She just snatched her wig off. She's in here with her weave. She stepped in it, y'all.
Straight men are gonna feel like if you tell my wife to shut the fuck up, I'm gonna have a problem with it. I mean, that just it is. So when you have a conversation with somebody, if somebody gets upset and it goes to the left, most men, real men, not gay men, not rich men, you know what I'm saying, the guys that are kind of soft, but real men are gonna feel like, you know what I mean? Straight men are gonna feel like if you tell my wife to shut the fuck up.
Y'all, she been dragging us and dogging us for years. And Mariah's been saying she gonna take the show to the gutter. And we've been begging her, please stop, Dr. Heavenly Mal. Andy Cohen, bravo, Andy. What are you gonna do? Bravo, Andy. I think she's offended a group now that might be able to do something with Dr. Heavenly. What y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Oh, I'm going to talk about the show tonight at 7 p.m. Come back to Sandra Peace Gen Extra. But I think Dr. Heavenly done stepped in it, y'all, because she's talking to a group. They're not going to take that line down. She's talking about real men. And then she said be-made men. And she's cussing as she always does. But usually it's directed at us. Okay? Now, she's over here on YouTube she has hundreds of thousands of viewers. She's been over there on Carlos King, okay? She used that platform, talk about and lie on Melody Rogers, who has nothing to do with anything that Dr. Heavenly is doing. She claims she didn't watch that show. That didn't stop her from trying to drag Melody. Doesn't stop her from trying to drag Sweet Tea, who they recruited to be on there. Lied on Mariah, wrote on the lady's poster that she made to decorate her own room with. Who else did Dr. Heavenly harass? She used to drag Toya all the time. She started to try to get on Jackie when she first got there. Dr. Jackie could I don't look like a busted can of biscuits when I take off my clothes. Dr. Jackie told that lady that at the reunion. Now they're best friends. So Dr. Heavenly, you might have stepped in it now. Big mouth. She might have stepped in it. I think she did. Linda Gamble said Heavenly is getting dragged in these YouTube streets. Yes, Linda Gamble. Those are some of her biggest supporters because they when she making fun of us, honey. Talked about Sweet Tea's body because Sweet Tea called her a big razorback. She is a big razorback. Sweet Tea is a veteran. You just see Sweet Tea start from scratch in sand on the beach and run all the way up to catch up to her husband and King. And they had to get her in a prayer circle to keep Sweet Tea out of that altercation. It wasn't a fight because Dr. Gred, he said, I'm a doctor, I ain't gonna fight. And I don't blame you, Dr. Gred. You shouldn't fight. I don't care who's charging you. Yeah, she's getting dragged. Too blessed for you. She done stepped into a hornet's nest. Oh yeah, too blessed for you. And they like to sting, honey. Some of her best friends love to sting. She be over there on their channel talking about them like a dog. You remember when they tried to have her over on the Fox Soul show that they stole from Claudia Jordan? Yeah, Claudia Jordan surrounded herself with people that were not like her, in my opinion, because she didn't want to compete with another woman. She didn't want to bring another woman up. And Claudia is as beautiful and as quick as anybody. Claudia used to go toe-to-toe with Nene. But when she started her show, she's going to put, I'm not talking about the Cocktails with Queens. That one was good. She had herself, Selena Johnson, Lisa Ray, Vivica. Any of them can stand next to each other and go. But when she did the other show, Al Reynolds, Funky, somebody else, because they were actually trying to bring in a third. But they took Claudia Jordan's whole ish down. They took her thing that she created. They said she took that from somebody else. I'm not sure how true that is. But she's the one that got it onto YouTube and had it to a place where they were making the salary figure that was being floated was $250. But the last guy that they put in there, he said he never got that. But I can't say that Claudia wasn't getting it. And then the other two, Al Reynolds was conspiring to take that from her. Now none of them, they're not getting that at all. Funky Mike could do that on his own. But yeah, this is a hornet's nest. Let's see if she can get her big mouth and her big foot up out of that mess. Because I'm sitting here, I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman. I love it. I love that for you, Dr. Heavenly, the way you've treated all these young women and the young doctors and the other ones that come on the show. And I have my eye on Dr. Mimi, because Dr. Mimi, Dr. Sweet Tea mentions Dr. Mimi. She said, Dr. Mimi, ask her, how do you get the stink off? Because she doesn't, and Sweet Tea has her YouTube channel. She's given her behind the scenes. She brought Greg out because I think they're concerned with the way he talked to her on TV. They're trying to get ahead of it, which she should do, because Dr. Heavenly will get in that closet and lie. But now that we know that Sweet Tea's been in communication with Dr. Mimi, if Sweet Tea doesn't come back, and I think she will, I'd like to see Andy Cohen rework around the newer doctors, Drs. Contessa and Scott and Dr. Steve and Mimi. Dr. G and Sweet Tea can stay if they want to. Maybe Dr. Simone, Dr. Jackie, friend of. But I think they're going to turn their sights on Dr. Mimi. But Dr. Steve said he don't play about that one. I don't think he's going to argue with women, but I think he may let the men know, you're not, leash your dog because we're not doing this. Dr. Damon Daddy ain't trying to leash Heavenly. He's in with her. He likes that. He likes the mess. He loves it. Sharon Garbo, you have to be in shape to run his hand. Sharon Garbo, you do. When I saw her, I said, look at Sweet Tea. I'm gonna have to watch that again. They heard the sound first. When she turned toward that, like Bionic Woman used to go, she turned that way. That girl was gone and caught up to the altercation. Luckily, Shake was in the middle. Shake is tall though. He's like 6'7", and he still had a drink in his hand. King wasn't really trying to fight Dr. G. I still think he and Quad kind of conspired to start that. I really do. because it kept jumping off at different times. And once an argument has been stopped, you're on vacation, you're going to still jump up and then go to another spot and argue? Because remember, Dr. Heavenly was in the ward when she got up, fell back down. She can't even stand quickly and think she can go with a combat vet. She's telling another lie now. They look good. Let them put her hands on people. Sweet Tea has not put her hands on anyone, y'all. She's not. Quad has yoked a couple of people up. Allegedly, and in my opinion, I've heard that. So Dr. Heavenly now has created a new lie that they're scared of Sweet Tea. Yeah, we can go back and forth, but we don't put hands on each other. No. And Dr. Heavenly, she tries to provoke people because Dr. Contessa told her, square up, guard two, and she was getting ready to put hands on Heavenly. Heavenly called for security. And then she even lied. She said, Dr. Contessa and I go back and forth, but she's never touched me. Not for lack of trying, Dr. Heavenly, because the way you were running, people got in between them. Okay, so this new lie she's getting ready to tell on Sweet Tea, I'm glad Sweet Tea has that YouTube channel to try to defend herself a little bit. But yeah, this hornet's nest, we're going to keep talking about that. Linda Gamble said they're dragging her. I might go to some of their channels that I don't go to because some of those guys got a slick mouth and it's always about us. And they love Dr. Heavenly, honey. They big her up because she gets to say things they can't say. She gets to say the things that they can't say. And Carlos felt so comfortable on her channel. He was the first one speaking about Sweet Tea. She told her own fertility journey. For him to open his mouth and cackle and talk about eggs on a vision board and stuff, I heard you can't find it now. But Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Heavenly and Carlos were over there doing that. And Dr. Jackie being an OBGYN, we know what she think about Black women. Yeah, I think that between that and the Phaedra situation, I think hopefully some shuffle, shake, rattle, and roll is going to happen. We'll see. Okay, and I am right under an hour. I meant to do a dirty 30, but I was so frustrated over being late and having the technical problems. I don't want to tempt fate any further. But I thank you all for coming back in, staying with me as long as you could, liking the video, subscribe if you are not subscribed, and I'll see you in the YouTube streets. I'll be back here at 7 p.m. and I'm going to give my full thoughts on Married to Medicine. This is season 11, episode 12. It's going to be what happens after the sandbar, after Phaedra Parks on a private jet. Dr. Heavenly was mad about that. That's Phaedra Parks, B, on a private jet. So they're mad about that. She's supposed to take a bike out of there? No, she can leave the best way that you can. That was the best way that she could. I'm proud of her. She took her young tender. He was holding her bags and they got on that plane and they jetted out. So I will see everyone back who is able to make it at 7 p.m. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday. Moody Monday, I'm going to change it to a good mood. And I feel in a better mood to talking to you and everybody in my chat. The CC name is Alex Rogers here on YouTube. Linda Gamble, he's a comedian. And I used to follow him because he was so funny. I was following him. He lived in New York and relocated to California. He got a little dog he calls Bronx. And he does a show with a guy I really like called C. Diggy One. He's one of the last ones I follow. And I saw that he was with Dr. Heavenly. I don't like Dr. Heavenly. But Alex was literally lying on, and I don't know, and I was like, why is he talking about Melody like that? He don't even know her. But a lot of them don't like Melody, y'all. I think certain ones of them, they may have a crush on Martell or something. I don't know. I know Carlos King used to have a crush on Martell. I think they broke up. One Crafty Sister, good show. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all who are able to come back. If not, thank you anyway. Goodbye.